Hello, and welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. So, recently, especially in terms of recent events where we now know what EZAs are coming for Part 3, Vegeta and Trunks and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, we obviously knew those were going to happen. But with how they appear to be kind of some of the best EZAs we've gotten throughout the entire celebration, I've been seeing a lot of discussion about specifically Goku Black and ZAMASU. I have seen a lot of talk saying that these guys might just be the worst LR of the celebration, which to me, at first I think that's a little ridiculous, right? But then I took a step back and I was like, okay, well, let's hear these people out. What are they actually saying about Goku Black and ZAMASU? And it mainly stems from their value of a unit to be pulled. If we take a look at every single unit from the celebration, which is pretty much everything that you see on your screen right here, I don't think anyone's missing. I think this is everything. It's one of those things where I am kind of inclined to agree, because remember, this is a celebration in which you are being asked to drop your money and or your save stones on one of 4 of these characters or as many of them as possible. If, say for instance, this came out as the anniversary for JP, and then I was trying to tell people on Global what to go for, I don't think I could even recommend going for Goku Black. Because let's just take a look at their teams, for instance, of what got buffed this celebration. So for Super Bosses, we got all of the clones, which are fine units. They're moderately okay units that you can kind of run. AGL Rose, who's very good. And ZAMASU, who is good, but struggles in the current content. And that's it. That's all he's gotten is... Obviously, the clones take up a whole lot of space here. He also has this character, but this character is basically worthless. They're fun, but they don't really do a whole lot, especially because they don't get any bonuses from the Goku Black support. They only get the 10% damage reduction that ZAMASU can give, which it doesn't really work that well on a character whose stats are as low as they are, right? Plus, he relies on final blows. So pretty much a 0 unit. That's it, because remember, Goku Black's team is just pure super bosses. This team is awful. Now, we got LRK on Caulifla earlier in the year, which is pretty cool. Except for the fact that he wants extreme class characters for future, so that doesn't really work. And then, who's next after that? Hit? Hit could work, except he's a little weak to AoEs and he needs a Universe 6 ally to get his full passive. So I guess he doesn't really work that well now, does he? And that's it. That's it. That's all Super Boss is really good. There's Tech killing Caulifla, but again, same issue. Not an extreme class character. So it just doesn't work out very well. I've seen a lot of people using Broly and Nemo, which I guess, yeah, sure, right? You can make some use out of them. Especially, I don't know why it's showing their pre-EZA version. That's definitely pre-EZA, right? This is another damage reduction. There we go. You can get them this. Well, that's cool, right? The guaranteed dodge, this, but you still need to get 7 orbs, and there's not a whole lot of rainbow orb changers on this team anymore. We have Fusion ZAMASU, he does orb change, right? He double orb changes, so you can kind of get away with it. Then you still have the problem of Fusion ZAMASU getting absolutely obliterated by AoEs, and I personally haven't had a chance to use him against the Gogeta fight, but I would highly doubt this guy can tank a super attack, because he's not going in slot 1, so I just don't see where we're using him to his max efficiency, and that's all we really have. Even the time limit of Goku Black, he's not living any of these super attack effects, and he can't really go in slot 1 either. His stats are high, but they're not that high, so we end up just having a team that doesn't really work and didn't really get the help that it needed. And then we take a look at the other teams. Right, while this team is kind of terrible in terms of the actual leader skills, with the addition of in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's EZA and then Vegeta and Trunks' EZA, you can run a very coherent team where you have Vegeta and Trunks, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the physical one, right? And then Vegeta Blue. Because this Vegeta Blue, unlike Rose, has 2-turn support. Has really good super attack effects, is pretty safe in most fights, has the 50% chance of dodging super attacks. He has all of these things active. So I don't see how it can even compare to his other Part 1 counterpart in Rose. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Because again, especially if you compare Vegeta or Vegito to this Goku Black, Goku Black, while being good, isn't nearly as good as Vegito Blue, right? He's great, like he's amazing, fantastic, but he's not as good as Vegito Blue when it comes to the fact that he's now going to be getting permanent attack and defensive stacks from Vegeta and Trunks, and is going to be able to now get the support from this guy's intro. That's not comparable. The only thing like that Goku Black can even get from any other characters is Omega stuff. But now we're talking about, okay, well, Omega is the one with bringing the value here. Because while Goku Black himself, like Goku Black and ZAMASU, the character, is an insanely good unit, his actual value of, like, should you pull for him first, tanks when you can't run the guy unless it's on someone else's team, right? Because his own team did not get the help it deserves, means you're going to have to run him on something else. And the only other relevant team you can even run him on is Omegas. So at this point, it's like, okay, well, now it's better to just get Omega, and a lot of the time with Omega's team, you can now flood it with these two amazing EZAs. Nova's a brilliant free-to-play character. I think he's a lot better than every single one of the clones and Fusion Zamasu, mainly because he has the Ki Blast nullification. STR Omega's not as good as Rose, but he's still pretty solid. And then you have like limited time buff Baby, who has a giant mode, right? You have all these different things, and it's like it's significantly easier to utilize Omega and the GT bosses than it is to use super bosses, which is weird, but like not all that surprising because they actually gave Omega the resources to help his team, and then like gave him heavily juiced up characters like premium EZAs. The only premium EZA that has like a stat buff that this guy has gotten is Fusion Zamasu. Like, and I guess technically Rose, but he didn't get a brand new EZA like TUR. He didn't get a brand new like free to play LR. He didn't get a free to play LR EZA. He didn't get none of that. He just got Zamasu, Goku Black, and I guess this guy. But I'm not kidding. If you compare this Zamasu Goku Black to the Legion of Shadow Dragons, it's like not even close, right? And then Nova, I think, is significantly better than every single one of the Goku Black clones. Like the Goku Black clones are okay. Like the AGL one is fine. I like the AGL one. The tech one can be useful for debuffing. The physical one's all right. Like they're just fine characters. They get the buff from this, right? But even with this buff, it's not enough to make super bosses like a relevant team because you're heavily relying on Goku Black and Zamasu, and they have to be in slot 1 because there's no other slot 1 characters on the team. Which means in events like the Gogeta fight, where he super attacks in slot 2 and 3, it's just worthless. Right, so in terms of both the Extreme Class characters, you're better off just getting Omega because he has a way better leader skill and he's actually supporting Extreme Class, and then just trying to get Rose later. Because all the buffs for Omega's team are also buffs. Or like all the buffs from Rose's teams are also buffs for Omega's team. It just doesn't work out very well for poor Goku Black's Carnival leader skill. It's just terrible. And then even if you can say, okay, well, GT Heroes isn't that crazy either. I would agree with you and say it's not. However, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is so much better than Rose in terms of the output that he's doing. It's just kind of ridiculous. Like, he's so strong where it doesn't even really matter what the other characters on the team are doing as long as they're not dead. Which, now with the inclusion of one of the best TUR EZAs in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who's not even in the data yet, but we can clearly see that his stats are stupidly high, it just kind of works out a lot better. Plus, he has a significantly better Carnival-like character that was added onto his team earlier in the year. Like, compare Khalifa and Kale to Carnival Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, or Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and it's night and day. And then you have a significantly better, premium LR EZA with the physical Super Saiyan 4s in comparison to Fusion Zamasu, and it's like, okay, well, now it's kind of better. And then you have now the best TUR, like the second best TUR in the game, which is also a Super Saiyan 4, who just pairs perfectly well with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So it's like Goku Black might just, like, he has maybe gotten the most, but also the worst help throughout the celebration. which I really hate because I love Goku Black. But at this point in time, it's kind of just like, what are you going to do? Like, it doesn't help us that all his help isn't really that good. The clones are just okay. Fusion ZAMASU is good, but is weak to the content that's available right now in the game. And then AGL Rose is just his only real solid help. That's it. That's all he got on his team. Like, you would have to give super bosses so much for them to become relevant. Like, are y'all running Annie Raza? Y'all want to drop Annie Raza? I don't. All right, so I think the only way you save Rose, which I think they really should have done, I don't know why they didn't. There's no reason why this guy couldn't have Super Easy Aid. You give this guy a Super Easy Aid, we're in a significantly better spot. Like, especially if you give him like 2-turn support on this. Like, he can become insane so fast. Plus, remember the major thing about the clones, right? And why I think they're just mediocre is the fact that every single one of these clones, especially because they haven't Easy 8 at all, so their stats are abysmal, making your team HP pool just significantly worse. They need all 5 extreme class types to be relevant. Tech is the worst one for super bosses because the only options is the tech clone. It's just tech clone. There's nobody else. Like, this guy would be a massive help for the team. For just a premium, because then you could just toss one of the clones on there. Because then you would have more than enough of the other typings to make this work. Right? It's more than likely going to be the physical clone, because the physical clone is just a very solid character, giving 2-turn defensive support. Right? And has damage reduction. So like, you can get rid of this guy. But everything else is just, it's just not good enough. It's just not. So anyway, I'm inclined to agree with Twitter at this point, where I think while Goku Black and Rose, or Goku Black and ZAMASU are incredibly powerful in their own right, they have not received the type of support that I think a lot of the other premium characters have gotten, and it ends up just making them the least valuable unit. So I wouldn't call them the worst like individual character, because I think they're probably my like second favorite of like the entire batch, but I definitely don't think that they're the best. They're in a really bad spot right now, in my opinion. They're really great off lead, like on a different team, mainly Omegas, but with how things are looking right now, the character themselves is crazy, but they need more so that they can actually be like a runnable leader. Now, there is value in being just like a team, like a really flexible character. They can be put on other teams because they're pretty much on every single carnival team, or every single, not carnival team, every single global Dokkan celebration team except for Gogeta's. But I just wish that I could run 2 of them and get the max value that I wanted to. Like, because they're amazing. It's just I want to run them, which makes them kind of like the quote unquote worst LR of the celebration, when every single other LR has just gotten significantly more support. Give me this character's Super Easy A, and we are in a significantly better spot. Maybe even like a new Dokkan Fest for their team, preferably an Extreme Class Dokkan Fest, because I think they really need it. Like, in terms of what we could see coming forward, and we know Daima's coming, but we need more extreme class super bosses with like big bad bosses to make Goku Black and ZAMASU significantly better. And it's just a result of the fact that when they did do all these super bosses characters, they made them all mediocre. Like, they've been making mediocre super bosses for a while now, and we need them to start like pumping out some really like fire like characters, or else this is just going to be garbage for the rest of time. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Am I cooking? Am I trolling? Right? I don't know. Point being, I think Goku Black and ZAMASU definitely have the least value out of all the characters that you can summon for here, but I think they themselves are really, really crazy, but they are in desperate need of help. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.